Okay, this is a collection of simple problems in probability that are good for review, and you can read them one by one. But what we are going to do is we will solve the three on each one on a separate page. So let us just start and go to the next page to solve the first one. The first one says that a student and the professor each choose a number between 1 and 9, and they are telling you that 1 and 9 are both possible choices. So it means that each of them can choose a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say that this is the student, and he can choose any of these numbers, and let's say that the professor also can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is for the professor. Now the question is, what is the probability that they will choose the same number, that the student and the professor will choose the same number? So the student has the freedom of choosing any number from 1 to 9, and the professor also has the freedom to choose any number between 1 and 9. And we want to find what is the probability that they coincide, they both choose the same number. So first, we need to know how many possible outcomes are there. One possible outcome is that the student chooses, for example, 2, and the professor chooses 5. So you can have the 2, 5, like this. Or the student can choose 5 and the professor 3. So you can have 5, 3, and so on. But in total, how many do we have? Well, you can think about it easily. For each choice of the student, you can combine it with 9 choices for the professor. And you can do this with all of the 9. And this is why the counting principle, or the fundamental counting principle, says that because the student, let's do the student in black here, the student has 9 choices and the professor has 9 choices, then what you do is you multiply these choices and you get 81 possible outcomes in our sample space. Okay, these are everything that could happen. 9 times 9, which is 81. This is the number of all possibilities that they can choose. But now let's see, how many of these possibilities are what we're looking for? We are trying to find the probability, look again, that the two choose the same number. So when would they choose the same number? If both choose 1, or both choose 2, or both choose 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, or 7, or 8, or 9. So how many possibilities are there? Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 possibilities. So we can say, therefore, the probability that they choose same number is, we have 9 possibilities. So let me choose this color. They have 9 possibilities of having the same number, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, up to 9, 9. Those are 9 possibilities out of the total number of possibilities, which is 81. And this is the same as 1 out of 9. If you want it as a decimal, 1 out of 9 is about 0.111 approximately, which is 11 as a percent, 11.1%. But this is it as a simplified fraction. So this is the probability that the student and the professor choose the same number. Let's go to the next question. The next question is about rolling 2 dice. You remember what is a die? A die is something that looks like this. You can get any of the 6 faces. It's a cube that has 6 faces. And you are looking at all possible outcomes if you roll 2 dice. Find the probability, the question is find the probability of getting a sum less than 5. So let me just erase this part and let's look at the sum when we add. Okay, what is the least you can have is if you add these two, the sum of them is 2. And look here, if you add these or these here, these two give you a sum of 3. And notice that if you add anything on this small diagonal, these 3 will give you the sum 4, and so on. The next diagonal will give you 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the last and biggest number you can get as the sum is here, where you get 12. Okay? Now, in the question is find the probability that the sum is less than 5. This means that the sum is 4 or 3 or 2. It cannot be less than 2. You see, 2 is the smallest that we could get. So this is the probability that the sum is equal to 2 or 3 or 4. We're not including 5 here because we're saying less than 5. If we said less than or equal to 5, then you would add also these values because they add up to 5. But the question didn't include this. It just included less than 5, so up to 4. So also I will erase the 12 from this. So probability of OR, this is the same as probability of sum is 2 plus probability of sum is 3 plus probability of sum is 4. And notice that these are all mutually exclusive events. You can't have the sum 2 and 3 at the same time. It cannot happen. So the probability that the sum is 2, we have only one outcome out of the all possible outcomes, which are 36 if you count them. 6 for the first die and 6 for the second die. So together, if you count how many we have all in total, it's 36. 6 times 6. Plus the sum is 3. We saw, so actually, because I did it in red, I will do this 1 out of 36 in red. Plus, in blue, we'll do the sum of 3. We get 2 outcomes, either 1, 2 or 2, 1 out of the 36 possibilities. Plus, in green, we will do the sum 4. It could be 1, 3, 2, 2, or 3, 1. So we have 3 possibilities out of the 36 possibilities. And if you add up those numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6 out of 36, which is 1 out of 6. And if you want this as a decimal, this is the same as approximately 0.167, which is 16.7%. Okay, and this answers the question. A question could be also find the probability of getting a sum, let's say, greater than 10. If we say greater than 10, so let's just do it. So what is the probability of sum greater than 10? Or let's say greater than or equal. Let's just make it a little bit more interesting. Greater than or equal to 10, then you will have, where do they add up to 10? You have here 1, 2, 3, 11, 4, 5, 6. So you can say it's 6 out of 36, which is again 1 out of 6, and it's done because you added all the possibilities. Now let me erase and ask another question. What's the probability that the sum is exactly, let's say, 7? Then what you will do, you will look again and see where do they sum to 7. 1 6 or 2 5 or 3 4 or 4 3 or 5 2 or 6 1. And these are how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So again, it's 6 out of 36, which is 1 out of 6. Okay? It's not all 1 out of 6. I can ask you a question that will give you more or less than 1 out of 6. So anyways, it just happened by chance that all of them gave us the same answer. But it doesn't, okay, I will do one that will not give us this answer, the same answer. Okay, so what about the probability that the sum is, let's say, less than or equal to 7? So we want it to be 7 or less. In this case, notice that what you will do. The sum 7 is all of this, which has 6 values. The sum 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. The sum of 5 is 4 values. The sum of 4 is 3 possibilities. And the sum of 3 is 2 possibilities. And the sum of 2 is 1 possibility. So then you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which would give you 21 out of 36, and that would be 7 over 12. Okay, or as decimal, it's 0.583. Which is the same as 58 point, let me write it better. So it's 58.3%. Okay, that's enough about this question. So let's go to the next and last one. It says that you have a box, and inside this box you have 13 green marbles. So let's say we have 13 green, 21 red. So here we have 21 red marbles and 8 yellow. So we have 8 yellow. So I know it looks orange, but I don't have a yellow on this. I will find it. I need to find it. But let's say that this last color was the yellow one. And the question is, if we take a ball at random, so select a marble. Okay, so take a marble outside at random, and find the probability. What is the probability that it is red, or, so when they say or, you use the union, so probability of red or yellow.